In the beginning, before the noise of the world, before pain, before fear, before death, there was peace, a perfect world, untouched by suffering, where everything existed in harmony. There was no sorrow, no regret, no hidden shame, only beauty, only stillness, only God. But that peace did not last forever, because in a single moment, one choice changed everything. This is the story of Adam and Eve, and how humanity lost paradise. The Garden of Eden was unlike anything we know today. It was not just a place, it was perfection itself. The air was pure, the rivers flowed gently, and every tree was full of life and beauty. There was no decay, no death. Everything existed exactly as it was meant to be. And in the center of this perfect creation, God formed a man from the dust of the ground. His name was Adam, and God breathed life into him, giving him not just existence, but purpose. Adam was given responsibility over the garden, to care for it, to name the animals, to live in harmony with all creation. But even in a perfect world, something was missing. Adam was alone. And God said, "It is not good for man to be alone." So from Adam, God created Eve, not as a servant, but as a companion, equal, connected, complete. And together, they lived without fear. They felt no shame, no insecurity, nothing to hide, nothing to prove. They walked with God, freely, openly, peacefully. This was life as it was meant to be. In the middle of the garden stood two trees unlike any others, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And God gave Adam a clear instruction: "You may eat freely from every tree in the garden, but from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you must not eat, for in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die." It was a simple command, not a burden, not a test of strength, but a boundary, a choice, because love, without choice, is not truly love. And for a time, they chose obedience. They trusted God completely, until one moment when doubt quietly entered the garden. The serpent was the most subtle of all creatures. It did not come with force, it came with a question. Did God really say, "You must not eat from any tree"? At first, the question seemed harmless. Eve responded, correcting it. But the serpent was not finished. It planted something far more dangerous than a lie. It planted doubt. "You will not surely die, for God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." And suddenly, everything changed. The fruit, once ignored, now seemed beautiful, desirable, important. The thought entered her mind: what if God is holding something back? And in that moment, trust began to fade. Eve reached out her hand, slowly, carefully. She took the fruit, and for a brief moment, the world stood still. Then, she ate it. Nothing happened. At first, no thunder, no warning, just silence. And then she turned and gave the fruit to Adam, and he ate it too. And in that instant, everything changed. Their eyes were opened, but not with wisdom, with awareness. For the first time, they felt shame. They saw themselves differently, and they realized something was no longer right. So they hid. As the day grew quiet, they heard the sound they once loved: God, walking in the garden. But instead of running toward him, they ran away. They hid among the trees, trying to cover what they had done. Then came the voice, calm but searching: "Adam, where are you?" It was not a question of location, but of condition. Adam replied, "I was afraid, so I hid." And in that moment, fear entered the human story. The relationship was broken, not because God moved away, but because they did. And with that, the world would never be the same again. The story of Adam and Eve is not just about the beginning of sin, it is about the power of choice, the quiet moments where decisions are made, the subtle voices that lead us away from truth. Even today, the same question echoes, did God really say? And just like in the garden, we are faced with a choice, to trust or to doubt, to obey or to follow what seems right in the moment. Because sometimes the greatest consequences come from the quietest decisions. If this story spoke to you, subscribe to the Quiet Bible. Also like, comment, and share. Turn on your notification button to get updates on every lessons for more powerful stories told in a calm and meaningful way. And remember, even in silence, truth still speaks. Thanks for listening. Do well to watch our next video.